Karma Khazi is anyone that's ever written on the back of a toilet door. It could be someone you know or someone you don't. If you go out tomorrow and leave someone on the back of a toilet door, you are Karma Khazi. I think the movement has already been in development for a number of years, and I think I am now prompting it to become something bigger. When it came to the door, it was so important that it was their handwriting, because that's how it was left. After the door was completed, I realised that the thing that I really connected with was the surreal nature of each expression that was left. The phrase itself, the wording, the text. And that was the thing that stuck with me. And I can't help romanticising and falling in love with these expressions. What started to unfold was the natural progression. There's 63 quotes or expressions, and I decided to make one painting for each expression. The thing that you remember isn't how it looks. The thing that you remember is, I guess, the way it made you feel and the sentiment behind the thing in the first place. If you look at each one, they're so pure. They all have something emotive. They all mean something, and that really needed to be explored. The majority of the doors are mixed media, essentially. They are painted originally. Someone's come and left a mark. They've been painted again a number of times. You've got drips. Some people have left a mark in pen. Some people have left a mark in biro. Some people have brought oil pastels in and gone nuts and left a huge tag. You know, there's a real mixed media, visceral, visual effect that I felt it was important to listen to. I normally work on about 5 or 6 at once and just get into the zone, have fun, try not to overthink it. You kind of rely on the moment itself, which makes these pieces belong to that moment and also feel alive forever. I look around the studio and I always make sure colours are close by. Every type of colour, at the moment of creation, I'll just look around and go, oh, neon pink is going to work well alongside this black. I feel a looseness, and I'm just totally in the moment. My paintings can be quite confronting, and I sometimes can't make peace with them. Even if I think they look all right, or if I'm relatively content with them. If one doesn't work, I can redevelop it or move on to the next. What we've ended up with is paintings that are highly rich in texture in a way that lots of the doors that I found were. That's one of my faves. Yamar drives a smart car around Leighton. One of my personal faves. This one's pretty in contrast to that. Loads of techniques. Trans love is beautiful. They look visually very different to, the initial thing that they left. But what remains is the heart. My next challenge is to put on a fucking show. And I need to figure out how. When it was made, I felt an enormous amount of pressure with this piece to just sort of step back, have a little bit of time. You kind of think how it should be presented. That's not a question that you always have to ask. Sometimes it's immediately obvious. But with this one, it certainly wasn't. I consider all of my paintings to be a self-portrait, every single one. But this was the opposite. almost the antithesis of that. It's not about me, it's about everyone else. I realised my instinct of just, propping the door up against a wall somewhere in an imperfect way, it just wasn't working. This thing needed to be lifted somehow and put on a pedestal. It's a heavy fucker, isn't it? And I thought, what better pedestal than a bathroom tiled floor? I did another walk around pubs. I'm walking into the pub on the outside, I'm looking all around the face of the pub, all of the signage.
Look at that magnificent horn.
And that's where I came up with the initial designs. I got to a point where I'd drawn the door framed in an ornate metalwork frame. So all of the brackets that hold this door up, they're all ornate scrawlings that you find around the outside of pub signs. That is sat on a metal plinth, which is also tiled with bathroom tiles. It's a painting and a sculpture. Solid marble bathroom tiles, reclaimed toilet. Well, it's essentially the seat, the viewing platform to view the door from. It looks bloody great. I'm just hoping the initial vision, this is the moment we find out, like with the tiles. So we're going to see it from the toilet platform, which will be in front of it here. Now I'm much more content, because although I was really happy with this door, there was something that was missing. A painting is made in an often chaotic environment. You've got music playing, it's made in this real creative hub. And then when these paintings then end up going to a gallery where you could hear a pin drop. And so what I wanted to do with this was put on an art show in a way that I really believe reflects the nature of the work itself, because I think that lacks generally.
To be or not to be? Cheeky little question mark. That's going to take about 6 months to dry. As is that. Bit of texture. KK was here. KK's everywhere, mate. To be or not to be, KK, quite like that. To be or not to be, KK. To be or not to be, KK.
I started saying the words that are on the back of the doors and contemplating those. That sentiment started to lead into an audio experience for me. I wanted some form of soundtrack that atmospherically embodied what this whole thing is about. Christ, you want to cover your ears up, I'm going to get shouty. So I've ended up here at Abbey Road Studios making this soundscape that is going to loop around the backdrop of the exhibition.
This is a shit show!
We're really playing with senses. It's not just all about what you see.
Karma Khazi, this is a movement. It's a shit show.
It forms this visceral, unique experience that is unlike anything that has been done before.
Some things I need to tell you. Some things that you might have to say. Listen carefully. Share what you've heard. This is a shit show.
For years and years, I've fought against convention and the way you're supposed to do things. Because I think when it comes to art, there shouldn't be any form of convention.
This is a shit show.
This is the culmination of the past year and a half and the first time I'm showing a body of work. One of my biggest ambitions is to inspire other people to be creative. If they've got this burning desire to create, just as I have, just as so many people have, we're taught that a painting needs to look like something in order to be a successful piece. It's not about delivering masterpieces. You don't need to be technically trained to express yourself. To make sure that we provided a space for people to leave something, I think was vital. Here it is. It's the cubicle that people can come and leave their mark. It looks like some people have already started going with it. This isn't about me, and that's partly why I'm anonymous. It's about everyone, and that includes me. On the way in it says, "Who is Karma Khazi?" And then this is the point where they look in the mirror and maybe ask the question, maybe they are. For me, this has always been a movement that hasn't yet been celebrated adequately. I want people to leave here and ask the question, like, what is art? Art's all around us. And the whole purpose of this is for people to see that.